Hey everyone, I'm Anna Berry.
And I'm Tom Bielkini.
And this is Behind the Scenes Oklahoma.
I want to welcome everyone to Behind the Scenes Oklahoma. I'm Anna Berry, and I want to give a big thank you to Meg Gould for connecting us to this awesome guest. We have the honor of chatting with acclaimed actor Mykelti Williamson, and you've seen him in some of the truly my all-time favorite movies. Forrest Gump. He played the unforgettable Benjamin Buford Blue, or Bubba with Bubba Gun Shrimp, and Con Air. I love that movie. Mike Babio Odell, what a great character that was. And now you are sharing the screen with me. I'm so grateful that you've joined us, Mykelti. Thank you so much for joining us on Behind the Scenes Oklahoma.
Anna, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you guys today.
There's a huge filmography that you have with acting with legends like Tom Hanks, Denzel Washington, Pacino, Viola Davis, to name a few. But I really want to spend our time focusing on your latest film, which was shot right here in Oklahoma, specifically Owasso and Collinsville. It's called The Last Rodeo. So tell us a little bit about The Last Rodeo and your role you play in it.
First of all, we're very fortunate to do the kind of work we do. I always count it a privilege when I can do really good work and like prayerfully try to elevate that. But then you get these nuggets like the Forrest Gumps, and your path directs you to those nuggets. You get like Fences and like working with John Avnet on The Last Rodeo, which you'll see very soon if you haven't seen it already. But when you work with legendary giants like that, you realize there was a really rocky path just before each of these opportunities. And it's almost like something's trying to take you off track so you can't get to your destiny. This movie is part of my destiny. And we were able to make it happen. So that's why I said we're all very fortunate to do what we do. But anybody can do it if you put the work in and you really, really want it. Then anybody can do it. But it's a privilege and an honor, man. It really is.
Well, you said this film is part of your destiny, and doing a little backstory research, you're from St. Louis, lived in Los Angeles, yet this is not your first rodeo. So how did you get involved with the rodeo before this movie?
As a child, I talked about one of my first jobs was I worked for a gentleman by the name of Cotton Rosser, God rest his soul. Cotton Rosser, if you know cowboys, cowboying, if you know rodeo, I don't have to explain who Mr. Cotton Rosser was. Cotton Rosser was my first boss, the first person to believe in me and hire me to work around the rodeo. After school, I'd do my homework, run to the forum, run home, and change up, put my cowboy gear on, and run to the forum and work the rodeo and keep like the dressing rooms clean. I was just doing stuff like that. And Cotton Rosser was so cool. He let me and a couple of my friends, he let us just hang around the rodeo. Showed us how the bulls, how that whole thing operates, how well they're taken care of. And I learned a tremendous amount. But I learned about the humanity of cowboys, real cowboys. And that's what's always stuck with me when it comes to rodeos, the integrity and the humanity of cowboys. You know, they're everything they need to be at the right time.
Absolutely.
Sometimes they're kind, sometimes they're friendly, sometimes they knuck it up. It's time to knuckle up. But a cowboy is everything they need to be at the appropriate time. So that's what turns me on about getting to be a cowboy on screen.
So talk a little bit about that. How did you bring that life experience and reverence you have into your character, Charlie, in The Last Rodeo?
Understanding and respect, appreciation for every rodeo athlete. That includes the animals. They're all athletes. Just a reverence and a respect for rodeo from the time I was a little kid. It still lives very strong in me. And so that was part of my desire to do the best job I could so that this film is representative of what a cowboy is, an American cowboy.
Now, what was that training like? I'm assuming I haven't seen the movie yet. It releases on the 23rd, but I'm assuming you had to ride some horses and I'm assuming
Absolutely.
you had to look real. So, what was that training like?
Well, fortunately for me, I have an opportunity to ride whenever I feel like it, and I ride as often as I can.
Nice.
But I had the help of three different gentlemen to come in to help me. Uh, Reginald T. Dorsey, the actor Glenn Turman, who's also a real cowboy, and Buddy Joe Hooker, the legendary Buddy Joe Hooker, stuntman extraordinaire, stunt coordinator extraordinaire, um, a true living legend. So their teams gave me the ability to ride before I got back to work so I could ride frequently and work some things out. So they did. So I was comfortable, and I rode a lot, multiple times per week, thanks to John Avnet and helping us, our director. Uh, and when I showed up, we showed up ready, as did everybody else.
And this is not your first time working with the director John Avnet or Neil McDonough, is it?
This is not my first time, my
And not
first
your
rodeo
last.
with John Avnet or Neil McDonough. We do this as often as we can.
Wow.
We unite forces. We met John about 25 years ago, and we haven't been apart since. John, Neil, and I. We just
Hmm.
like peas in a pod.
Well, what was it like filming in Oklahoma? Just a little insight. I was an actress too, Chicago, Los Angeles. I lived in LA for many years, New York, and I came back to Oklahoma where I'm from. I'm called a boomeranger, and I'm always curious what actors like yourself think about not only the landscape, the architecture of Oklahoma, but what was it like making a movie here?
When we came to Oklahoma, we found our way into tremendous kindness by Tulsans. I mean, everybody gave us love. It's like, oh, we're trying to figure this out. They go, oh, well, why don't you go down there and I'll make a call. And that's that's how Oklahoma was. It was amazing. It's like people who really want you to do well. And so that's a love I have for Tulsa and Oklahoma City and folks from the good old state of Oklahoma. I have a lot of love for you guys.
How many days were you here in Oklahoma on set?
This was a 23-day shoot. 23 days, this entire movie. So
Okay.
that tells you the level of execution needed, proficiency, excellence, and desire to do it right. That's what we found when we came there to work with the Film Commission in Oklahoma. It was they supported us, helped us get everything we needed.
Tell me more. How did working with the Film Commission help you? You were with Jeanette, I'm sure, and Yusuf and Meg and Renee, and there's an amazing team of people. How did they help?
They helped in every way possible. Anything we needed, they were there 24/7. It didn't matter. Um, they made sure we didn't step in potholes, um, and they were part of orchestrating our path to the right locations, to the right place to set up our studio and our shop, to the right place to house actors. So they facilitate at a very high level, and it was actually a pleasure. It was one of the few jobs when it was time to go home. It was a little sadness for me because I was going to be leaving, Oklahoma and Texas and going back to California.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. We would love to have you here. There's a lot of transplants, a lot of people who want to move out of California and set up shop here in Oklahoma. Please, the door is open, the invitation is there.
Hey man, I appreciate that. Now, do you happen to be a real estate broker?
My boyfriend is, yeah.
Okay, well, if we
I'll
if
tell
we
you what you can buy here, which is a quarter of what you get in LA. But Oklahoma is really booming with the film industry. We're really trying hard. With that, do you have any advice? Were there some things that we could do better?
as a state,
As a state, sure, but specifically for supporting this film, maybe crew, actors, anything involving the movie.
Um, when you see us working in your communities and your neighborhoods, just say hi. Come say hi. Nobody's better than you. We're the same as you. And if you want to stick around, we'll pick a spot for you that you can watch what we're doing from a safe distance. And then we'll show you how we do what we do. Um, because you never know where your next great filmmaker or crew leader or producer will come from. It could come from someone in Oklahoma who was so inspired because they were welcomed to say hello and something came of it. So always say hi to folks when you see film people working. Go say, hey, what's up? Welcome to Oklahoma.
I
It
I've
gets them
never
every
heard
time.
that. I've never heard that from a lead actor like yourself. Often they're like, leave us alone, give us some space. That is wow. Thank you for saying that because I think as a viewer, we wouldn't know. We would walk by and we're like, oh, what is that? But we don't want to disturb you. So you welcome
Right,
that.
right,
Thank you for that.
right, right. Well, as long as you don't walk through the frame when we're filming in the background going, hi, mom. And,
Sure.
and you give us a couple minutes if you're about to cut your lawn, give us a couple minutes to get a take, and then we'll take a break so you can cut some lawn, and then we'll say rolling, and then you give us a break, and we shoot one, and we work together. You know what I mean? That's the way movies are made. It's not like, hey, pipe down over there. It's not now. You can be part of the process too, man. So just come on, say hello to us, and find out what the heck we're doing.
I love that. And I'm going to take
Yeah.
you up on that offer.
All right.
Mykelti, so let's talk a little bit about the storyline. Angel Studios produces meaningful movies, meaningful content. I resonate with that. I'm a mother, you're a father, and family is the heart of this story. So for our viewers who will see this movie, and they'll see it soon, I think the podcast will come out after it premieres. What's the message, and how did you connect to it?
Well, there's a bunch of different messages. If you watch a person who had a great life, had a troubled life, and had trouble coming out of that trouble, but if you care about them, you want them to make it out. Uh, Joe Wainwright is a character who we don't know if he'll make it out or not. We hope he does. When you watch this man follow his journey of faith and how his best friend alongside him, Charlie, helps him navigate his journey, that's a real friendship. That's what brothers do.
Mm-hmm.
You take care of each other. My family's your family and vice versa. That's the only way to live. And when people can't function respectfully within those that world, then you just give them the gift of distance, man. Just don't hang around people that have something sharp, snarky to say. Leave that stuff alone. And then you'll find your tribe because your vibe is your tribe. So if you cut out the nonsense, you'll gravitate toward other people who've done the same. You know?
Wow. What a perspective. Were you always like this? Did something change in you to become this? I don't mean to generalize Hollywood actors, but not all of them have this intentionality behind them like you do.
Well, it yes, because I realized that when I was a young child, had a call on my life,
Hmm.
and I knew I had a ministry, but I didn't. I knew it was not in church, standing up preaching. So I prayed about it, and people go, you have a call on your life. I'm like, man, I don't need you to tell me that. I know. I'm working it out. You just walk out that door, close it behind you, and I'll work it out in here with God by myself. And I later fully understood that this is my ministry. This is, people call it legacy, but it's not just mine. It's a ministry that was entrusted to me through the Creator. So I do the jobs that do as little harm as possible, or preferably none. Um, and it's gotten me sent home a few times, because I refused to choke a woman and slam her against the wall in a show. I wasn't invited back. I said, I told y'all I wasn't going to do that before I got here.
Hmm.
But you didn't believe me. So now, okay, I'll go home. No problem. But when things like that happen, I remember being fired off of a television series, a show. And it was all wrong against me. I was like, why would they fire me for something like that? And so, uh, just for speaking the truth, you know. So the business affairs attorney was a friend of mine, and he had actually invited me down to go to his school in San Diego and talk to some of his students about the actor's perspective in law, entertainment law, things I've learned, things to watch out for, and what a contract is and isn't, because he knew that I'm interested in law. That's what I studied in school. So he was like, man, come, I know you. I know you didn't do this. They said it was anticipatory breach. I was like, come on, man, whatever. So they didn't pay me. But that turned out to be the biggest blessing, because if I had been on that show, I would not have been available to do Forrest Gump.
Wow.
So that's why I know this is my ministry. That's why I didn't even get upset you send me home. I'm like, fine, cool, man, no problem. But I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie on you. And I'm not going to lie for you unless your very life is on the line.
Wow. And
Then to save your life, yes,
sure,
but
sure.
not to destroy another. But yeah, but that's just how I roll, man. It's like, I'm authentic. I'm the real Mykelti Williamson. I have a heavy hand when people are rude, especially to women and children. I, I can be a little heavy handed in
Well,
instances like that, but that's just how I'm wired. I guess that's the American cowboy in me, you know?
I love that. I know that Oklahoma is going to be having more cowboy films. I specifically know of one I'm going to tell your publicist about or your agent about. But I think a lot of people, my viewers, are local creatives here. They're actors, they're filmmakers, they're writers. You are a wealth of inspiration. So, what advice would you give actors right here in Oklahoma trying to not only do their craft, which is what we all try to do, our craft, but we all try to get a break?
So, what advice would I give an actor?
Yeah.
There's a couple things. First thing is save your money.
Mhm.
Don't play. Don't fake it. Don't fake the funk. Don't spend a lot of money on designer stuff because you're not impressing anybody, because you're a new actor. And the industry's going to look at you like, so what? Oh, I guess if you wear you should blow all your money on clothes, I'm supposed to be impressed. Nah, keep it simple and put your money where your mouth is. You say you're an actor, get better. Study, study, and always study. Everybody, everything. And you will become an actor. Okay, training only gets you so far. You have to be able to live stuff. Your humanity, these are not characters, these are human beings. Everybody's somebody's child. So if you create an image of a human being, you don't mock God and call it a character. That's a human being. Okay, the industry calls it a character, but if you play it like it's a character, it won't come across like a human being. Decide which human being you want to go on this journey with and live through that human being. They're all around you. Learn. I teach, but I don't teach for free, but I teach. So I would be interested in doing a seminar where I need to see 10 actors and see everybody's tapes, and then I'll select 10 and I'll bring my team and we'll teach y'all for 2 weeks. I'll show you something. All right. But I'm down with that. We'll be all
Wonderful.
right.
Well, much success to you in LA and looking forward to the premiere. I know this podcast will come out after, so I will be at the premiere, so I will get to meet you. I believe you're
Okay.
coming back to Oklahoma for that.
Well, you will meet my bride, my dream girl, Sandra.
Okay.
Because I don't go anywhere without my bride. You know what I mean? That's why I picked her.
Great.
So you'll
Can't
meet
wait.
Sandra too. All right? All right.
Sandra
Bye,
and
everybody.
you, Mykelti, thank you so much for joining us. Wish you a beautiful and blessed day.
You got it.
Won't you head on down to Tulsa? There's a building there. When your spark's lost its flare, and you ain't going nowhere. Sit on steps and let the breeze blow through your hair. Soon you'll feel him there. Hear notes in the air. The top hat music band that they call Mosey. Made a place your spirit can shine.